David Menzies for Rebel News here in the Toronto riding of York Centre. And folks, today's video is brought to you by the letter L. L is for liberal, L is for lying, L is for loser. And before I get to what I mean by that, do you remember that classic Saturday Night Live sketch from yesterdecade? It was all about a house guest that was, well, overstaying his welcome. Check it out.
Well, we're glad you could stop by, but it's getting pretty late, and we better get to bed now.
Don't you have any other records besides these? I think I'm gonna borrow this one.
It came without warning. They were just being polite. They didn't realize that they'd be stuck with the thing that wouldn't leave.
You see, that sketch has new currency today in 2025 because Yara Sachs is now the thing that wouldn't leave. I am here at the constituency office. Well, the constituency office that used to be for Yara Sachs. As you can see, there's a new sheriff in town at York Centre. That would be Roman Baber, the only Conservative candidate to win a riding in the 416 Toronto area. But here's the thing, folks. Check out Yara Sachs's X account. As you can see, it's the official gray checkmark account. And what does it say? Yara Sachs, Member of Parliament for York Centre. What's going on here? The election was almost 3 months ago, and Yara Sachs lost. We know that. And yet she is still pretending to be the MP for York Centre. But your eyes don't deceive you. It's right there in blue and white. Roman Baber, Member of Parliament, York Centre. Now, of course, we would reach out to Yara Sachs. We tried to reach out to Yara Sachs the last several years. Usually it was to try to get clarity of why she went over to the Middle East and got all cuddly with a terrorist, Mahmoud Abbas, you know, the pay-for-slay guy. But suddenly this parliamentarian, it's a matter of cat got your tongue. Here, check it out. Ms. Sachs, I again ask you, why did you go to the Middle East to shake hands with a terrorist, especially post-October 7th? Why were you even in the Middle East? You're not the Prime Minister. You're not the Foreign Affairs Minister. Ms. Sachs, your government invoked the Emergencies Act to shut down a peaceful protest. In Ottawa, you froze bank accounts of Canadians. We have chants of genocide and violence in the streets of Canada. Why aren't you doing anything about that? Sorry, who are you? Now, after finding out that Yara Sachs is still fraudulently pretending to be the Member of Parliament for York Centre, I reached out to Elections Canada, and Elections Canada said, it's not their job. I have to reach out to the House of Commons. So I did that. I went to the Media Relations Department of the House of Commons, sent them an email, asked them if they were going to do anything about this, and if Yara Sachs stops this fraudulent misrepresentation, what are the penalties? Well, I can tell you folks, at time of broadcast, my deadline had come and gone. I heard nothing from the House of Commons. Really no big surprise there. So I am personally reaching out to Yara Sachs or any of her minions. If you see this, please update your X account if that's an accident, that you're still perpetrating information that is now 3 months out of date, because you lost. It's over. The fat lady has sung. I'm speaking of the metaphorical one here. Yara Sachs, we all know you are Canada's biggest self-hating Jew, but now it's time for you to leave. It's time for you to admit defeat and basically take a long walk off a short pier. For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Well, folks, post-deadline, I did indeed hear back from a media relations representative from the House of Commons, and this is what he had to say. Quote, "It is not unusual for former members of Parliament to still be identified as members in social media and other advertisements during the immediate period following an election. When such instances are brought to the attention of the House administration, the former members concerned are notified and asked to make the appropriate correction. Any penalty for such misidentification would be imposed by the House should the matter be raised in the House. In the few instances where such issues have been raised, it was concluded that the misidentification resulted from an error and the House took no further action." Okay, the immediate period is not defined, but guess what, folks? It's a moot point now, because either Sachs got wind of our story or she received a phone call from somebody in the House of Commons, because just the other day, check it out, her X account has finally been edited so that she's no longer falsely claiming to be the MP for York Centre. You know what, folks? Don't you just love it when journalism acts as sanitizer? Hey folks, I know you love it when we tell you the other side of the story, but the fact is we need your help. Unlike Mark Carney's trained seals in the legacy media, we do not receive a single nickel of taxpayer money, nor would we accept it if offered. But here's where you come in. Can you do me a favor? Can you go to rebelfieldreports.com? That's rebelfieldreports.com. And if you're able to, kindly make a donation.